This series is not meant to be an accurate representation of the current NASCAR Cup Series. This is a fictional series, ran on NR2003 for enjoyment. I hope you enjoy today's race.
Hello everybody, welcome into Thanks for Trying TV's NR2003 simulation season, live from the 2.66 mile Talladega Superspeedway, where 39 of NASCAR's best are going to go racing today in pack-style racing and hopefully avoid the big one. The big one is the biggest accident that happens all race long, and it can take out a few, it can take out a bunch. Where is it going to happen and who is it going to take out? That's the biggest question that we're moments away from answering, as we're going to take you down trackside to get the command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
The most famous words in motorsports spoken, and the engines come alive here on pit road. This is how they're going to roll off for today's race here in Talladega. Alex Bowman riding that momentum that he got from last week's win at Bristol Dirt. He is on pole. The rest of the field will scroll across now. Find your favorite driver. A lot of talent in this Cup Series field. And with the car being so equal, everybody on an equal playing field, today's race is going to be great. We saw in Daytona that the pack stayed really, really close together and the racing was fantastic. Hopefully we'll see the same today here in Talladega. One different thing about Talladega as well is the track is much wider than Daytona. So 4 wide here is actually not a big deal. Daytona, you rarely ever see 4 wide, and if you do, it's only for a minute because the field is going to be backwards because of that 4 wide situation. A couple of things to note here today as well. Hailie Deegan is making her final start in the Cup Series this season. She's raced a few. They wanted to get her some experience in all kinds of different tracks and situations. Dirt last week to the high banks this week. This will be her final start this year. And back up the front of the field a little ways, Noah Gragson, he is making his final scheduled start. There are still a couple open races for the 16 machine, but this is his final schedule. But right now, all eyes are at the front of the field and Alex Bowman, as Bowman leads them into the restart zone. Green flag is out. We're racing at Talladega. Bowman, not a good jump off the restart there. Daniel Suarez, much better jump on the start. Will he be able to clear him? Not looking like it's going to happen here off of turn number 2. There's a good look at the field spread all over the racetrack here. Bowman still with the lead, Austin Dillon right behind him. Those 2 Chevys. First lap, led by the 48. Momentum is a real thing. That 48 team right now, they're feeling it. Got some Hendrick teammates on the bottom lane there as well, as Larson actually ended up moving to the middle lane, leaving Chase Elliott down on the bottom. Not seeing the whole pack tight like we did at Daytona, which means some of these teams are finding some things out about the race cars, how to make them go a little bit quicker. It seems like it is the bigger teams that are figuring that out first. Ooh, a little contact. Oh, man, the big one. Oh, the big one happens at Talladega down in turn number 1 and it happened at the front of the field. That's going to include Brad Keselowski, Suarez, who started in second, and Eric Almirola. For the second week in a row, looked like he was on his roof. There's Chastain. He's going to pull away from that. Unfortunate. Chastain, Keselowski, William Byron, Briscoe. I mean, looking down this straightaway at all these cars, looks like Cole Custer, he's going to be done for the day. Smoke pouring out of the back of the 41 machine. Front fender is also missing. Todd Gilliland, front of that car destroyed. An unfortunate set of circumstances for a lot of drivers. That took out a lot of drivers. Chase Elliott was involved in that, but not a lot of damage on the 9 car. And we are going to give you a look at what happened. Here's the replay. Down into turn 1, it's looking like there might be a little bit of contact there. Both Trackhouse cars into the wall. And then it was just a melee from then on. Eric Almirola did get on his roof again. Here's another angle. Almirola was up top. There's the hit that Chase Elliott took to the outside wall. And you could just see there was really nowhere for people to go. Almirola, he gets hooked right there by Gilliland up into his teammate. And that's actually what starts the rolling. The front tire looks like it climbed up. We had another car rolling as well. Looks like Ryan Preece. Not as violent as the 10 for the second week in a row. Almirola ends up on his roof. Looks like Cody Ware. He's going to go over too. So 3 cars flipped upside down. 24 Byron with our onboard. See what he saw. Just complete carnage. Just could not see through the smoke. He gets into the back of Ryan Blaney. Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Chris Buescher, and Kyle Busch, your top 5. We'll be back momentarily with the green flag here from Talladega Superspeedway. We're back to you live here from Talladega Superspeedway. A lot of cars involved in the big one. We talked about it at the top of the show. The big one was going to be one of those things that it was going to happen, and when it did, it was going to be big. And it sure was. Take a look at some of the retired drivers here from 22nd on back. Before we get restarted here. Green flag back in the air. 48 fires off. Kyle Larson there with him. 2 Hendrick machines, well, they work together. Not looking like they're going to. As Larson went to the outside pretty quickly of Alex Bowman. Larson may think to get back down, but it might be a little too late. It is. Kevin Harvick is there, getting a push from the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Haven't talked about him much this afternoon. Stenhouse getting a pretty big push from Austin Cindric. A little bit too much of a push as the 2 Penske drivers force Stenhouse up high. See battle back and forth. Who led that lap? It was the 48 by 1/100th of a second. We are being told that all cars that came and got repair within the 5-minute crash clock, they have met minimum speed. field, much smaller now. But still, the 48. With the power out front. We aren't even halfway through this race yet. And a lot of the big players are gone. Chase Elliott, we saw him get that damage from that. We thought he was going to be okay, but that car is off the pace. Did meet minimum speed, but is off the pace. The two Hendrick cars up front really working well together right now. Larson and Bowman keep the rest of the field behind them. Larson, our Texas winner. Ty Dillon to the inside. Will not get credited with leading the lap. Larson will get credited with that lap. Not many Toyotas left in the race after that. The big one took out a lot. But one car that we should note, being still in it here, is Michael McDowell. Always find him at super speedways doing really, really well in that 34 front row motorsports machine. Won a Daytona 500 in 2021. And he always finds himself at the front of these races in that 34 machine. Right now, just barely sticking on to the end of that pack at the moment. Another car for a shout out here right now is the 43 Eric Jones. He's had a rough season so far. Not a lot of luck for that 43 machine, but today looks like he's been pretty lucky avoiding any accidents that have happened. He's riding up towards the front, and a major shout out. We talked about her at the beginning of the show, Haley Deegan making her final Cup Series start of the season. She's racing here. She's going to be pitting with the rest of the Fords as they're going to come down and make their pit stop. Scheduled stop for Ford. Looks like it's going to be right-hand tires and fuel. The only Fords that didn't pit out of the top 10 or so are Kevin Harvick and Cindric, and that's because they couldn't get to the bottom. Cindric again, it looks like he's going to be stuck up high. Not going to be able to pit unless these guys below him pit and he can get down with them, but not looking like that's going to be very likely, as the Chevys more than likely are going to come this time. Not all of them. Only two. Larson, he's going to be in, and Ty Dillon is going to be in. And the 43 is also going to be in. So 3 Chevys. Both Toyotas pitted with each other that were riding up in the top 10. You can see the manufacturer loyalties going on there. I expect the rest of these guys to pit probably this time. Justin Haley, we talked about him at the end of the show at Bristol, how he has not had the speed that the 16 has. Could this be Justin Haley's day? Now it's going to make it very hard here, because the 22 is actually slow. He's going to slow these guys up a little bit, and Haley's actually going to have a pretty sizable lead if he wanted to pit, but oh, that's going to be tough for Haley. 3 out of those 5 cars pit, with Alex Bowman leading them down. Harvick's pitted with them. That's what we were hearing on the radio, that Harvick's crew chief told him to pit the Chevys. Now, how will this cycle out is the question. Some of the first people that pitted was the Fords. Larson back on track now. 17 already at full song. Chris Buescher was the leader But as you see now, he's catching the back of the 23. Looks like he's going to lose a couple spots. And a little bit further back from them, Haley Deegan, she is going to be scored up the front. And this all works itself through. She did pit with the 22 and the 34, as well as the 17. That was the Ford camp that pitted together. Cindric finally makes his pit stop. Very late. Not sure what the strategy call is on that. Back up towards the front. Looking like the Chevys and Kevin Harvick going to be the ones that make out the best from this whole pit cycle, as those three have separated themselves from the entire field. Now keep in mind as well, the 31 of Justin Haley, he has yet to make his pit stop. So losing a lot of time. This is actually the race for the lead with Stenhouse, Bowman, and Harvick. Bowman and Harvick already winning this season. Harvick won in Martinsville. Bowman last week. So out of the top three that have separated themselves from the field, Stenhouse is the only one looking for his first win of the season. It's looking like Austin Cindric may have put himself in a decent position. Maybe not, as Cindric is now being shown a lap down. The field behind, do they have time to catch Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse, and Kevin Harvick before the end of this race? And you can see that they are racing each other pretty hard. But right now, the 18 car is actually still on. Or I was going to say he was still on the racetrack, but he is not now. He has since pitted. Now I'll be curious as to what's going to happen here. These cars are being shown 4 seconds back from the top 4 cars, which are made up from Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse, Kevin Harvick, and Justin Haley. 4 seconds behind is what they're being shown. But in a much larger pack, I'm curious to see how fast they can catch them, if at all. You have some pretty good drivers, super speedway-wise. Denny Hamlin, very, very good, 3 Daytona 500s. Bubba Wallace, 2 second-place finishes at Daytona. That time by did not really close in that much, about 3/10. And it's looking like the 3 of Austin Dillon, he's going to get in the way. And that's going to ruin any shot that these drivers had at catching these guys in front of them. Austin Dillon definitely should have been black flagged for that. But he did meet minimum speed. And now these guys start all over again. Get back formed up. Still about 4 seconds behind them. Oh, and Denny Hamlin. Hamlin loses an engine. Denny Hamlin, who was working to catch the leaders, he loses his engine. He's slowed down the back straightaway. Is he going to make it all the way around?
I go. Yeah. And they're warning.
It doesn't look like Hamlin's going to make it all the way around. This could be a caution. No caution yet. Hamlin far enough off the racing surface. And Ricky Stenhouse is leading. Austin Cindric, obviously he is a lap down, but he is helping Stenhouse, or was, as now he's going to put him up high. Here comes the 31 and the 48. Bowman looking underneath 31 of Justin Haley. It's looking like it's going to be a battle between these four drivers for the win. Justin Haley won a range-shortened race at Daytona a few years ago, back when he drove for the Spire Motorsports in the 77. So he does have a super speedway win, albeit it is a rain win. Ricky Stenhouse, he's won at Talladega and Daytona, back when he drove for Roush. So a lot of experience in the 47. Of course, Kevin Harvick, he's won a Daytona 500, a lot of experience there. And Alex Bowman, been on the pole for Daytona multiple times. He's a very good super speedway racer. If he wants to win one here in Talladega, he's got to beat Kevin Harvick, Justin Haley, and Ricky Stenhouse. Harvick latched right onto the back bumper of Alex Bowman, not going to let him go very far. And you can see the 47 backing up off of both of them, hoping to make a run here on the last lap. White flag going to be in the air this time. The race is official. Bowman down to block. Puts the block on Kevin Harvick. Cindric to the inside of Harvick. Not going to help his Ford teammate. Maybe he is. Stays right in line with Harvick. Is Kevin going to have enough? Is the 4 going to have the momentum coming off of turn number 4? There is a run. Is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it's going to be. And Alex Bowman, 2 weeks in a row, will go to victory lane, this time at Talladega.
Yeah, boys, how about that?
Unbelievable run for Alex Bowman these last 2 weeks. Showing that 48 car's speed, showing Hendrick how strong they are. Unbelievable run for Alex Bowman and this 48 team. Alex Bowman, he will bring it down to the start-finish line, and he will do his victory burnout. 2 weeks in a row that the 48 of Alex Bowman has been able to do victory burnouts. Our first multi-time winner this season, and it's done by the 48, Alex Bowman and the 48 team. Huge win for the points. Huge win for Alex here at Talladega. Alex Bowman, you are Talladega winner. Here is the finishing results from today's race in Talladega. The 48 goes to victory lane for the second time in 2 weeks. Back-to-back wins. Talked about him at the beginning of the show. We knew he was going to be strong. We knew he was going to be tough to beat, especially coming in with some momentum here today, and he really proved that that 48 team, they're doing some good things right now. Taking a look as these finishing results finish. The point standings will come up after that. A crazy Talladega race that took out a lot of drivers. A lot of big names were taken out of this one early. But Alex Bowman able to get it done for his second win of the season. That's a big points payout for the 48. Last but not least, we're going to look at the schedule. Got some good races coming up. All-Star race a few weeks from now. That's not shown here on the schedule, but it is there in 2 weeks' time. But that's going to wrap it up from Talladega today. Alex Bowman, your winner here on this big super speedway, 2.66 miles. Alex Bowman was there. He got there first. Started on pole, got there first, and got himself his second win of the season as we roll on here in the NR 2003 sim season. Thank you all for watching. We hope to see you in the next race.